Hello there, it's Christian Youngren with Kaizen Automotive Consulting, bringing you more best automotive practices. Kaizen literally means change for the better, and continuous improvement is what our company is all about. Helping ourselves, helping others, and helping companies change for the better. Now, if this is your first time to our channel, and you want to improve your automotive selling skills, you want to learn how to use psychology to close more car deals, and receive unbiased reviews on dealership product and service companies, make sure you subscribe and then turn on that bell. That way you never miss out on learning anything new. Well, all right then, let's get to work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk through this. I'm going to explain a short-term equity program. I'm going to lay the pen down and ask you to buy the car. Okay, that's all I'm going to do right now. That's all I want you to practice doing. So I'm going to walk over. I'm going to say, hey, I'll call you Matt since you're Matt, even though Paul's the guy out there. Hey, hey Matt, we've got a great opportunity for you here, so I'm just going to walk you through it and show you the opportunity, okay? All right, so here is the original value of our vehicle. Now, of course, that's not what you paid, but this is the original value. It was right at $26,500 and some change. Now, this is, if you remember, we talked about the car being pre-discounted. So this is the dealer incentives, savings, and discounts, $592. Fair market value for your vehicle is $14,500. That's what we want to buy yours for, leaving us a difference here of $11,448. Now up here you see we've got three different initial investments, and then underneath those we've got the corresponding monthly ownership options, and then we've got the amount of time for those ownership options. Now we specifically chose these right here, these initial investments and these ownership options, because this is what we call a short-term equity program. And a short-term equity program is really the best way to buy a vehicle, and that's my job, is to show you the best way to buy a car. And it's the best way in that it helps increase your trade-in cycles because you realize equity much quicker. Also, you can save money in finance charges. Now, it's not the only way to buy a vehicle, just mathematically, it's been proven to be the best way to buy a vehicle. Now, down here, this is our exclusive Kunis Gas and Go program, and it's one of our most popular options in that you just choose one of these monthly ownership options and virtually just drive the vehicle because all the maintenance and all the warranty work is essentially taken care of for you. Now, you're in control of the numbers, so circle the one that makes the most sense and we'll get your car all cleaned up and ready to go. The only other question I have for you is, you're going to title this in your name alone, or you're going to title it in the business's name?
Well, Chris, I told you my initial is $400. I have to hit $400 for my budget.
Fair enough. So $400 is where you're trying to be budget-wise. Now let me ask you, initial cash investments we were talking, are you going to be able to do the $6,000 we were talking about, or are you looking at one of these other options?
I told you $2,000 is the most.
Okay, 2,000 is the most. All right. So I see where we're at here. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can get it $2,000 down, and we want to get it $400 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, I can see here that if we go 2,000 down, and if we go with this monthly option here, it looks like we're going to be closer to the 500 to the 550 range. And I know you're kind of trying to be a little bit closer to the 400. So let me ask you this. It sounds like we're about $100 either away, or I like to be a positive guy and say $100 close. So it sounds like we're about $100 close from putting something together here as far as budget wise. Let me ask you this. Other than us finding a way to fit this into your budget, do you see any other reason why you wouldn't take this car home today?
I'd like some more for my trade. I mean, Kelly Blue looked at it and it said it was $15,500. So
okay.
$14,500 is a little low in my respects here.
Well, here, I get it. And I totally understand, and of course you want to try to get as much as you possibly can for your trade. Let me ask you, so let's say for a moment that you got $15,500 for your trade. Heck, let's say you got $16,000 for your trade. However, we came over here and none of these monthly payments fit into the budget. Would you still take the car?
I'd still try to hit 400.
Okay, so you still want to be in the 400.
Yeah.
So it's still the really issue. So we're probably going to have to, we might have to do something over here, but what it sounds like is that really you're pretty firm on this is where we need to be on payments. Let me ask you this, up to, if we were like say 410, 420, you're probably not going to lose this car over that, are you?
Maybe not 10 or 20 bucks.
Okay. So again, we'll try to stick at the 400. I just wanted to know that if there was a little bit of flexibility, and it sounds like there is. And the good news is if you're a little bit flexible, we can probably be a little bit flexible as well. So here's what I'm understanding. I'm understanding we're about $100 close on payment. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's really the main issue, is getting $100 closer on payment. So, other than us finding another $100 in your budget, do you see any reason why you wouldn't take this car home?
No.
Okay. So, let me see if I can't help a little bit with that. So, obviously, you're concerned about the budget. I am too. About 95% of my customers I deal with are. So, what they're concerned about is the monthly payment, but not just the monthly payment. They're also concerned about some of the other costs of ownership. And there's some other costs of ownership besides just the monthly payment. So what I'd like to do is kind of walk through those with you if I could. Now the first one that a lot of people look at is repairs. Now I remember earlier you were telling me that in the last, I think it was about last year and a half, you'd spent $850 on a water pump, right?
Yeah.
And so let's just take that right now and let's take a look at where we're at here. So if we take the 850 and divided that, by 18 months, it looks like we're talking about $47 a month right now over the last 18 months, really, that you've been spending on repairs of that vehicle. And interestingly enough, speaking of repairs, so your manufacturer does something called a frequency of repair study. And so what they do is they look at the frequency of repair, or how often it has to be in for repairs, and they look at it over time. So if here would be 1 year, here would be 2, here would be 3 years, and of course here's 10. So this is your time here. And so what they found is this, is that the first year, 2 years, 3 years, it's pretty relatively repair free. Kind of interesting, because that's about when the factory warranty starts to come, and then all of a sudden the frequency of repair starts to go up a little bit, right? So obviously as time goes on, are the repairs on this vehicle going to go up or down? Probably going to go up, right? So when you look at this in comparison to this new vehicle, so the new Buick that you're looking at, what you've got on that is you've got, if you remember, that peace of mind package. And the peace of mind package makes up 3 things. So one, it's that full warranty, which is that 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. And that's going to cover virtually anything that's wrong with the vehicle. It covers the water pump, cover power locks or windows that go out. So you wouldn't really have anything for that first 3 years of 36,000 miles. And then after that, you've got that powertrain warranty. And I kind of called that the meat and potatoes warranty package. And if I remember correctly, that was a 6-year, 100,000 mile warranty on there. And then lastly, I know you hadn't bargained for it, but that roadside assistance you thought was kind of nice. You'd said there was one time when you had got a flat tire on the way to drop your daughter off at school, and by the time you got home it was flat and you had to be late for work. You wouldn't have to do that in this situation. You could just call up the 800 number, have them come out. They'd actually go ahead and put a new tire on right there in your driveway. So we found a little bit of money, but we're not quite there all the way to the 100. We're about, what, $53 close now, right? So we're getting closer. Now, one of the other things that makes up the total cost of repairs on a vehicle is going to be fuel, expenses of fuel. Now, I know one of your goals on this vehicle was to try to save a little bit of money on gas. However, we picked out a little bit bigger engine, so what we're saving is, it looks like only about 2 miles per gallon. However, there will be some savings there because you drive 17,000 miles a year. So let's just see what that means to you. So you're driving 17,000 miles per year currently, right? Isn't that what you said? And you think that's going to continue to be with this vehicle as well?
Correct.
Okay. You never know. Sometimes you increase, but no life changes, so that'll probably be the case. So really, currently, you're doing about 1,416 miles. Let's just say 1,400 miles in a month. So if we took the 1,400 miles and we take what you're getting for miles per gallon, let's just kind of see what that does. So if we take 22, divide that by the 14 divided by the 22, we come up with 64 gallons of gas per month. So that's currently what you're doing. Now on this other vehicle, I know we're not saving a ton, but we're also doing the 1,400 miles a month. And then if we divide that by 24 miles per gallon, what do we come up with? What's that come up to?
24.
Just hit 8 more, if you would, please.
Sorry about that. 58.3.
58, so let's just use 58. All right, so it's 58 versus 64, not a ton, but let's just see what this does. So if we take 64, what are you paying for gas, Matt?
$3.29.
3? All right, so 3 times 0.329. So it looks like we're going to spend about $210 per gas a month. That's what you're currently spending.
Yep.
And so then if we took this by the 329, what do we come up with? 58 times 3.29. It looks like we're coming up with about 190. So it looks like we're saving about 20 bucks there. So now we're getting a little bit closer. Now it looks like we're only about $33 away, or again, my positive attitude, $33 close. So we're about $33 close. You said you maybe could go up another 10, so we're maybe 23, but let's just stick with the 33. So we're 33 close. So let's take a look at this. I mean, you are going up, what, 5 years in vehicle. You'd be going from a car to a larger vehicle. You're also picking up the little bit better gas mileage, and I think you're also getting a lot more room. So that's really where the money's going. However, let's take a look at how it affects your budget, maybe in a little different way. Let's look at how it affects your budget, maybe in regards to how often you're paid. So can I ask you, you paid monthly, or you paid every 2 weeks, or you paid, say, once a week?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay. So really that $33 that we're off right now, if we took that, that's what you're off a month, but if we took that 33 divided by 2, what we're really only talking is about, what, $17 per pay period, or every 2 weeks. Heck, if we took it down a little bit further and divided it by, say, a weekly, we're looking at, what, $8, we'll just say $8.25 a week. I mean, heck, if we took it all the way down to a daily deal, we're talking about a little over $1 a day. I mean, I guess here's the question. For $8.25 more a week to get the car you guys really want to go up, what, 4 years in vehicle, to gain that more room and to gain the better gas mileage, do you see another reason why you wouldn't just go ahead and pull the trigger and move forward with this? I mean, we're really kind of where you want to be. You want a water, coffee, or Pepsi, while we go ahead and knock out this paper.
At least like to get 15 for the trade.
15 for the trade?
That's really what I'm
Okay.
trying to get.
No, I hear you, and I get that, and I can appreciate that. And if I was in your spot, I mean, I'd probably get a little bit more for the trade too. You know, it might be on me on why we're having a little bit of rub on the trade, because I explained to you earlier how we arrived at the value of our vehicle, but I probably didn't really thoroughly go over how we arrived at the value of your car. What I'd like to do is run through how we figured that. Is that okay? Okay. So what we do is this. So, are you familiar with the Odessa or the Mannheim Auto Auction?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, they're two of the largest auto auctions in the United States of America, and we go to them sometimes in person, but now a lot of times we go to them just online, and we've got all their auction records right here. It's a lot easier and more convenient to do that. So what we do is we just see what we can buy a vehicle like yours from the auto auction, right? Kind of makes sense. We've got those records. You'd probably do the same thing if you had that ability. So here's how we figure it up to make sure we're comparing apples to apples. So the first thing we do is we put in the 17-digit vehicle identification number. And that way we're assured that we've got the correct year, make, model, and probably one of the more important things is the trim package, XLT versus Platinum. That sometimes can screw stuff up, right? So that's what the first thing we do. Now the second thing we do is we enter in the exact miles. Because even a small fluctuation in miles one way or another can make a difference. I mean, believe it or not, 500 to 1,000 miles can change the value of the vehicle. So we do that as well. Now lastly, we look at condition. Now speaking of condition, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being absolute showroom ready, I mean like plastic in the seats, and 1 being complete junk, you ranked your vehicle a 7. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and enter all this information into the computer. And interestingly enough, we ranked your vehicle 7 as well. Now after we enter all this in the computer, what it did was it showed us several vehicles like yours with a 7 rating that actually we could buy for $14,000. However, we went ahead and put an additional $500 towards yours because several reasons. 1, you're buying a car from us. Number 2, we don't have to go find this car. We've already got it here in front of us, and we don't have to incur any type of auction fees. So we thought it would be smart of us to pass along that savings or pass along a little extra money for that. So unless I'm missing something, that is the fair market value for your car. Yeah, I know you love the vehicle, and I know it's achieving all the goals, and we found a way to fit into your budget. Let me say we wrap this thing up and get you out of here. Now we can start enjoying this new enclave as opposed to running around doing all this. Did you want to register us in your name alone, or are you going to have your wife on the title?
Just my name.
Okay, so go ahead and okay it for me right here, and we'll get the thing all cleaned up and ready.